Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. Something just burned in my brain. August 9th. Trigger. It took me 0.5 seconds to realize it's the 34th anniversary of the Wayne Gretzky trade. The trade. And as I said to Lee, okay, forget about the World Juniors. I could talk about this for 2 hours. And since we're in Edmonton, we might.
Yeah,
I'm not saying 2 hours, but we got to spend some. All of my quick six show topics are all out of order now, and my number one topic is today being the 34th anniversary of the Wayne Gretzky trade. And to be honest with you, Serena and I were discussing it this morning, and she's going to be with us later on in the program to talk about the trade. I couldn't tell you who the principals were of the trade. Could you, if somebody put a gun to your head and said who went where? Could you?
Not since you told me this morning.
Not many could.
It was more of a sale than it was a trade.
And that's a key. So thank you. So I tweeted this morning. I said, 34 years ago today, I stopped being an Oilers fan. And that's a fact. And a football guy from Las Vegas, his name's Vic, he texted me and he said, refresh my memory. Why did they get rid of Gretzky? And I thought, it was 34 years ago. Of course people are going to forget. And Lee, you being the business guy, the CEO guy, owner type, you said it. You just said it. It wasn't a trade. It was a sale.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Week 10 in the CFL kicks off Thursday. I have the betting lines, and I assume these betting lines will change, these point spreads, Lee. But Thursday, Montreal, Winnipeg, 11.5. Friday, Toronto, Hamilton, second game of a home and home. Hamilton's favored by 2.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Does it surprise you?
That does surprise
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, hello, Canada, Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show. We are live from Rogers Place on day 2 of the 22 World Junior Hockey Championships. We're on Game Plus Television. We're also live streaming on YouTube. And we've got a very busy show today. Coming up on the program today, Robin Brownlee, an iconic Edmonton reporter from the Outsiders podcast, going to be with us on video. Right here on set, Mike Dyck, assistant coach from Team Canada, former member of the Regina Pats and current head coach of the Vancouver Giants, and Ethan Moreau, former captain of the Edmonton Oilers, who will be with us, along with our co-hosts along the way, Serena Taylor, and our good friend Lee Genier, who doubles as the COO of the RP Show Corporation. How you doing, Lee?
I'm fantastic.
You are fantastic. Listen, that's the guest lineup. It's a busy day. It's jam-packed, so can you hit the Quick Six show horn, please, Director Jordan? Oh, let's go. Thank you. I didn't mention Julie Robenhymer will be with us as well from USA Hockey. She covers it for Elite Prospects. She'll be here live in segment 2. I just haven't seen the whites of her eyes yet, so we may need a little more talking out of you. We'll see. You can handle it.
Talk.
Yes, you can talk. Number one, we're going to start with the World Juniors. The first day of action is over here in Edmonton. On Tuesday, Czechia scored a late goal to pull out a wild 5-4 win over Slovakia in the opener. Finland flattened Latvia 6-1 in the second game. And in the nightcap, the United States toyed with Germany and won 5-1. So it was a triple header yesterday. Canada, which we'll get to in point 2, plays today. The building was far from full. Lee was with me. We did some loser laps around the concourse, and then I introduced you to some hockey people, which is cool because you're more of a football guy, and there were more scouts here than fans on day 1, so we'll see if that changes today. But what was your takeaway from day 1 here?
Well, the music was really loud.
Right?
Great hockey, actually. Great hockey. You know what? That was ended up being a fantastic game, by the way, yesterday. So I think we're in for some really good hockey this week.
Yes, and we already are. The hockey was fantastic, and I think that's why we're a hockey country. That's why this tournament's in Canada every 2 years, because it doesn't need to be Canada for people to enjoy the games, but I think they would like them to purchase a few more tickets if they could. You got 2 weeks now, this week and next, to get your tickets, which reminds me, we've got tickets Hockey Canada has provided for the gold medal game and the bronze medal game we'll be giving away over the next few days. Before we move on, we want to tell you River Cree is partnering with us to bring you our World Juniors coverage from Edmonton. They bring you the best in live entertainment. September 30th, Tracy Morgan, the No Disrespect Tour. Coming to River Cree in Edmonton, Tracy Morgan, one of the most well-respected comedians in his field, known for starring on 7 seasons of NBC's Emmy and Golden Globe award-winning 30 Rock. He can currently be seen on the No Disrespect stand-up tour nationwide, coming here September the 30th. We're going to get to the football and spend more time on football in the warm-up than we normally do here, because then Lee's going to adjourn for the day and it's going to be hockey the rest of the way. So point 2, Canada will begin its hunt for a gold medal in the World Juniors later today, 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern on TSN. They face Latvia, the team that got crunched yesterday by Finland. Switzerland will play Sweden in the early game. You'll be seeing them warming up here before too long, and then Austria, Germany tonight in the nightcap. Point 3 of the Quick Six Show topics, the Toronto Blue Jays. Road woes continued Tuesday night, losing 6-5 to the surging Baltimore Orioles in a game delayed by rain and lightning for 78 minutes. The Jays, who will try to avoid being swept by the Orioles today, have lost 5 of 8 on their 9-game road trip. Want to mention, too, before we turn to football, the 163rd running of the $1 million Queen's Plate is back Sunday, August 21st. The first jewel of the OLG Canadian Triple Crown of Thoroughbred Racing is North America's oldest continuously run stakes event. Showcasing Canada's top 3-year-old thoroughbreds is the highlight of Woodbine's Queen's Plate. Purchase your tickets today to enjoy all that Woodbine Racetrack has to offer during the Queen's Plate at woodbine.com. Okay. Moving on to point 4, the next 2 points will be regarding the Canadian Football League, because the rest of our guests today aren't going to talk about the CFL. These guys can. And I see Julie is here. Now you really got to pick it up, Lee. Number 1, before we get to the Week 10 games and deal or no deal, point 4, I see the coverage out of Saskatchewan that Cody Fajardo is back at practice. They had a baby shower. Did you read the article?
Yeah.
You did? Yeah, he went back to California in the Riders' bye week. Cody Fajardo is feeling great, had to get away from football. They come into Edmonton to take on the Elks here on Saturday. How are we feeling about the state of the Rough Riders? Because I'm following what's going on in Saskatchewan, and what are your thoughts before I get to mine?
You know what? I think they have to. It's good that probably Cody took some time away. I think they need to really refocus mentally, and they have had a lot of distraction there in the team. So I think it's really good that they take a step back, refocus, come into Edmonton, and and they need to play their hearts out on Saturday night as well. So
for the best Rough Riders coverage, obviously you can go to rodpeterson.com. Right now, twice voted Canada's #1 sports blog, and Brendan McGuire has a wonderful column there. Thank you. Brendan McGuire has a wonderful column there running right now saying the Riders should focus on the crossover. Forget about chasing first. Forget about chasing second or third. Given the way this season's gone, the 3-game losing streak, a beat-up quarterback, all the strife, they should focus on going through the East to get back to the Grey Cup in November. Now, most will say that's complete bunk and junk. But how do you feel about that notion?
Well, I think they need to focus on winning and being more disciplined as they go down the stretch. So I'm going to say focus on the East. I think they just need to focus on winning, and that's number 1. It's not get too distracted by the whole East-West thing, and because to me that would be not a good path to go down. I think you should be planning on making the best spot.
For the fans of other teams, I'm going to get to the other games here in this warm-up because it's Wednesday and we always do the poll. What is Canada's game of the week in the Canadian Football League right now? You can vote on Twitter and YouTube. And the games are these. Thursday, Montreal at Winnipeg. Thursday, Montreal at Winnipeg. Friday, Toronto and Hamilton. And then a Saturday doubleheader, BC at Calgary, Sask at Edmonton. And the Stamps have some news regarding Saturday's home game, BC Lions at Calgary. Last I saw, what did I tell you, 78% or something was voting BC at Calgary as Canada's game of the week.
Yeah.
Does that shock you?
No, I mean, not.
You'd have voted for that.
I would absolutely, and I still would. You got Nathan Rourke coming in here. That is going to definitely be the game of the week, and everybody's going to be looking for him to put up big numbers. I know Calgary's secondary is going to be looking to try to shut him down. So you know what? It is absolutely going to be the game of the week.
Disagree. I will say, well, I'm going to say it's Saskatchewan at Edmonton. I'm going to be there. And the Bomber fans want to have their voice heard, and obviously our fans out in Eastern Canada have some thoughts on the Battle of Ontario and the Alouettes going into Winnipeg trying to split off this home and home. But I'll say this. I've seen this also. Rider fans saying this Saturday's game at Edmonton Saturday afternoon is a must-win. And I wonder your thoughts on that, too. As a dyed-in-the-wool football guy. No, hang on. Danny Barrett, whom I love, currently the running backs coach of the Houston Texans, and you know him real well, too. Great guy. He often, always said, steadfastly, that it's not must-win until you're facing elimination. Your season's over if you lose. I never forgot that, and I would go along with that. But what they're saying for the Riders at Edmonton Saturday, it's must-win because of the standings race. And what does it show if you can't beat the 2-6 Edmonton Elks? What does that say about you? So is this a must-win game for Saskatchewan Saturday?
Yeah, because it's a swing. You know what? They're 4-4 right now. They need to get above 500, get back into the win column, and show that they can command a good win. So on the other side, the Elks are going to be just the same, coming back, looking for a big win as well. So it could be a real tough game for both teams.
So you could at least say or see how some would vote for this game in Edmonton Saturday as the game of the week.
Well, yeah, if you're coming up from the basement, yeah, but absolutely. But I think people look more for the, you got BC and Calgary, you're fighting for second spot. So not when you're coming, like I say, out of the basement, it doesn't mean as much.
I've seen the pundits in Saskatchewan saying they should just focus on fourth, and I scoffed. I mean, you can write that, you can say whatever you want, but the coaches are just trying to go 1-0 every week. It is not. Is it a cliche or is it a fact? No, it's not a cliche.
It's always about winning the next game.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not even at the halfway point of the season yet. So there's a lot of football left.
Yeah.
And as you know, anything can happen.
Well, there's just a lot of bunk out there, and we all read it, we all listen to it, but we don't necessarily all have to agree with it. Now, a couple things. Calgary Stampeders teasing yesterday a major announcement today, and you saw what it was. That is our good friend Paul Bissonnette. Biznasty from Spittin' Chicklets is going to be in Calgary on Saturday as part of his Pink Whitney tour. I don't mind saying it. He's going to be racing the world's fastest cow at McMahon Stadium on Saturday. And I've seen this cow.
That?
She's fast because, bovines, cows are female. How do we feel about that?
Yeah,
I think it's good.
Fast cow. I'm going to take the cow over Paul.
Is that not the cow that races in the WestJet race for the ticket on the field at McMahon at Stamps games?
It might be.
Yeah, so I got to say hats off to the Stampeders for bringing in Biznasty and doing a little jazz. Do you think it'll sell a few tickets?
Maybe. I mean,
you almost said no.
Well,
He gave a check swing
okay.
here. Check
Sure,
swing.
it'll sell a few tickets.
And then, so that's Saturday. Biznasty. He is in Regina today, the Queen City, 1 till 3 at the Tap Brew House and Drive-Through Liquor Store. I talked to Ricky Regina this morning from he's getting ready for Biznasty to come in there. And here's what they're going to do. It's a Pink Whitney, the Pink Vodka Tour, and I guess Biz is going to walk around the bar and do shots with all the patrons.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of drinking.
God bless them. Yeah, and then apparently going to Saskatoon, doing the same thing tonight, and then going to Calgary, and then he's supposed to be in here to Edmonton. Actually, I think he's going to Edmonton between the two. So, Biz, God bless you. Godspeed. And good luck. And the other thing with Montreal at Winnipeg, before we play Deal or No Deal, I saw a fan on Winnipeg saying the Blue Bombers might lead the CFL in attendance for the first time in his lifetime. When are we going to start to give the Winnipeg Blue Bombers credit for being the marquee franchise in the Canadian Football League? Because as you know, it's been a long time since they've led the CFL in attendance.
Yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely say hands down they are the marquee franchise in the league right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, if they lead the CFL in attendance this season, I say good on them. They've earned it.
They've earned it, and as you know, there a lot of teams are struggling to put fans in the building, and they are doing a really good job of it. So kudos to Wade Miller and his crew over at the Bombers.
Is it just winning there?
That's winning. I think it's just the culture they've created. I think Mike O'Shea is a legend in town, and for sure, win back-to-back Grey Cups, and you've got Wade Miller, who is a former Blue Bomber himself. So I think they have really done a great job of connecting with the community and then showing in the stands as well.
We promised you a lot of CFL talk here in the warm-up because it's going to be pretty much all hockey the rest of the way. So it's time to play Deal or No Deal for our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal, and you can check out what they're all about at betregal.ca. We do it every week. Here are your betting lines. They've shifted a little bit from what I talked about yesterday, so we're going to put it to Lee, the football aficionado, whether he's going to take the bet or not. Thursday, Montreal at Winnipeg. The Blue Bombers are favored by 11.5 points. Are you taking the bet?
Yes, I would take.
You're going to kill Montreal?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Friday, Toronto with the hammer. Argos not having Brandon Banks nor Andrew Harris in practice yesterday. I don't know if that affects your betting or not. Hamilton favored by 2.5 at home. Deal or no deal?
I'll take deal. I'll take Hamilton on Friday.
How about that? Saturday, looks like Canada's game of the week. The BC Lions at the Calgary Stampeders. BC now favored by 2. Deal or no deal?
I'm going with the Lions.
And then late Saturday, second game of the doubleheader, it is the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the Edmonton Elks. Riders favored by 6. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, I would absolutely take the Riders.
You're taking the bets on all of them.
Yeah.
Real nice job by the odds makers at betregal.ca. By the way, it's Wednesday. Got to tell you, Ito Japan's fast and friendly service plus online ordering options is easy and convenient when you're on the go. Make it an Ito Japan day today. Last point, cornerback Terrell Bonds has talked about being a member of the NFL's Tennessee Titans since he played in college at Tennessee State. 5 years after his college days ended, he's finally on the Titans roster as a training camp signee. Bonds owes his latest football opportunity to the revived USFL, where he played 10 games this spring with the Pittsburgh Maulers, and he's got lots of company as the NFL starts its first week of preseason games Thursday night in full. Bonds is among 42 players from the USFL's inaugural season signed through yesterday, by 26 of the NFL's 32 teams. What does that say, Lee, about the USFL and its quality of play?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, you know what I think there's no doubt that, you look at the players that have graduated to the NFL. I think it's and it's only going to get better as well. So
42 players.
Yeah.
Has there been an off season where the CFL had 42 players? That's a lot of players.
That's a lot. That's a whole roster of a football team.
Well, you were very pro USFL, very pro XFL, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, did you one time bring The Rock back for a game to Calgary?
No.
I thought you did, and then he came and circled. Maybe I must.
No, we've tried. We had tried, and I know.
Did you bring Dwayne Johnson back before he was The Rock?
No.
Who was the big guy that came and circled the field in a limo?
Dan Aykroyd came in.
Right.
How about that?
I was close. So The Rock, Dan Aykroyd. I mean,
Oh,
my boy Danny Aykroyd.
Oh, it sounds like there's a story.
That was good. I loved him before I met him, and we hung out.
Love him even more now.
We hung out, so it's good.
Lee, great job. Good time, not a long time.
That's right.
Maybe we see you a little later in the show. By the way, if we have a rant today, and we may, Raj rants for Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, the preferred plumbing, heating, and cooling company of the RP Show. They watch every day over there at Bronco. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. We'll be back to Rogers Place in the 2022 World Juniors right after this time out on the Game Plus TV network. We're also live streaming on YouTube, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
The Venue at River Cree, bringing you the best in live entertainment. One of the world's most gifted and accomplished ventriloquists, Terry Fader brings his repertoire of comedy, music, and unique impersonations to the Venue at River Cree this September for one night only. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
All right, welcome back. We are live from Rogers Place Arena, and a little bit of panic there. For whatever reason, we lost our feed, but we're back, and yeah, morning skates on the go as we get ready for another triple header here at the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship. It is day 2, and joining us to recap day 1 as much as she can, because you're telling me Julie Robenhymer from USA. I always say USA Hockey. I apologize for that. Elite Prospects. You're okay with that, though?
I'm American. It's all right.
So you cover USA Hockey.
From the USA.
Yeah, exactly. So for those that missed us off the top, we talked about the triple header results opening today. A wild opener, Czechia over Slovakia 5-4. Finland smoked Latvia 6-1. Wasn't much of a game. And then USA beat Germany 5-1. We're working our way towards Canada, Latvia today at 4 p.m. As you hear the music's blaring now, it's game day. But let's go back to yesterday in that American game. 5-1 the win over Germany. What was your takeaways?
Well, the biggest questions for Team USA heading into this tournament are goaltending and where are they getting their goals from. So I think they knew that the parity of their lines was good. They're lacking in elite offensive talent. So they were going to have to, I don't want to say manufacture their goals, but they weren't going to be goals, that were pretty or ripping them from the blue line or whatnot. They were going to have to get in front of the net, create traffic, do the dirty work to get the goals. And that's what we saw in the lines last night. I mean, Riley Duran on the fourth line, chipping in 2 goals, was a big asset. And head coach Nate Lehman loved what he brought to the game, said that he really showed up, especially this being his very first international experience, having this stage. So that was great to see. And I feel like Nate had a little bit more pride because he's a Providence College guy as well. So,
well, I'll tell you what, you've been in Canada, what'd you say, a week?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, so you've been, I assume, have you been watching SportsCenter and Sportsnet and all the coverage? We know everything there is. You haven't? Okay.
No,
I know everything there is to know about Team Canada. Inside, out, backwards, forward. I know very little about Team USA because they only cover one team in Canada, and that's Canada. This is a very different American team from the one that skated off the ice that won gold just 2 short years ago. It seems like it was 2 years ago, right?
A year and a half, yeah.
Well, yeah, it seems like a heck of a long time ago, but is there any returnees?
Yeah, there are quite a few returnees, actually. The biggest challenge, as you mentioned, is that they lost 2, technically 3 very large pieces in that, and that's Jake Sanderson, Matty Beniers, and Drew Comesso, who have opted not to participate in this tournament. So, there's a lot of new faces, but that is what's so fun about this tournament. Every year, somebody shows up that you knew nothing about who has a great tournament and makes a name for himself. And so it's great that those guys are focusing on other things, on their NHL careers and cracking an NHL roster, but that opens opportunities for guys who wouldn't have had that. And that's the fun part.
And that, I'll ask you who those guys are in a second, but forgive my COVID brain. But if I'm not mistaken, skating out here and winning gold were Cole Caulfield, Trevor Zegras, Spencer Knight, Dustin Wolf. Right. Well, Dustin didn't play, so that's their biggest.
Yeah, their biggest core. Yeah. Right. And then the same with Jake and Matty Beniers, like they were a big part of that. But other guys that are here are Brock Faber, who's the captain, who's played at the Olympics since then. You have Brett Berard, who was a huge part of that gold medal win. So they do bring a lot of experience, and then even without that, Matty Nyes played in the Olympics as well. And then you have Luke Hughes and Thomas Bordelot, who have both played at the World Championships since then. So there's a lot of interesting experience that we wouldn't normally see at a World Junior Championship.
So we've done our fair share of World Junior coverage. We're Game Plus Television. We're not the rights holder, TSN, but we do talk about this a lot. And with our analysts, people talked about Finland might be the most physical team, and maybe give Canada its biggest run. Others have mentioned Sweden. Nobody mentions USA. And I'm like, guys, they're the defending champions. Does the USA have a chip on its shoulder over that? Are you used to being overlooked as a hockey country? Or not? That's
an interesting perspective because I don't necessarily
see it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel that we're overlooked. I feel that it is more of a downplay, more so than an overlook. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Canadian media would like to pump up Canadian tires, and so when they do that, they have the option of either promoting the Canadians or downplaying everybody else. And so I feel that's more what we're witnessing. I know the team itself is not overlooking USA, but I will say that I think Finland is the biggest competition in this tournament.
So they routed Latvia 6-1 yesterday. Were you in attendance for all the games?
I sure was.
Yeah, so
freezing my face off.
It is cold in here. And damn loud. What? Those speakers weren't going yesterday. Want to pull a plug on those? Whatever. We'll get through. We've been in louder. But I mentioned the results of the game yesterday. The Czechia win was at 5-4 over Slovakia. I thought was very entertaining and very fast. And then you mentioned the Finland game. What was your takeaways of those games yesterday?
Well, what I liked about Slovakia is how they jumped out to the early 2-0 lead. And I think it's one of those things where if you're a Slovak hockey player, you are feeling damn good about yourself right now, just with all the success that they've had recently and the talent that they're putting out. Like, they feel really confident in their development programs. And from the players themselves, they feel like they are put in positions to be successful and to grow as hockey players. And that makes them play even better. Like, they don't feel like also-rans. They feel like they're in a good spot because it's been proven over the past 2 years that they're doing big things. Mm-hmm. So you saw the excitement of them scoring those goals and getting out to a lead. That's not always the case for Team Slovakia. And then I think you saw the battle back from the Czechs, who were not playing their game in the first period, regrouped in that intermission and came out, put their foot down and started playing Czech hockey, completely limiting the offensive chances of Team Slovakia. And I give all credit to that top line of Jan Mysak and Mikhail Gut, and I don't remember the other guy on the team.
That's fine.
But whoever he was great.
I wouldn't have been able to name the other two. So
they were really, really grinding and pushing and carrying the play and leading the team, and they were rewarded with their goals. So that was great to see. And then, of course, I love the battle back of Slovakia to tie it up. It was really good. I mean, the game wasn't decided until I think 3 minutes left in regulation. So that was really fun. And then, Finland is Finland. I mean, they play such a solid team game. They've been successful at all levels of international competition playing that way. So a lot of people might say that their style of play is boring. They play a little bit of a trap and are really tight defensively, but they have enough offensive skill to razzle-dazzle you with their goals. So I think that they're one of, if not the best team in the tournament right now.
From the viewers, Dan Asham in Winnipeg says, what do you think of Slovakia as a hockey team? You discussed that already. But with Slafkovsky, Juraj Slafkovsky not being here, what's your take on the big-name guys from all countries that aren't here for their own various reasons?
Well, I think that's what makes this tournament, this one in particular, so interesting, because you look at what the team, it's hard not to look at what the team could have been like in December. But then at the same time, it opens doors, it opens opportunities. Like even right now, for like Team Austria, I was talking to their coaching staff about not having Marco Kasper. And he said, actually, we kind of think it's better because when Marco is here, he feels a lot of pressure to be that guy, to carry the team, which is hard for him because he doesn't have anybody else to play with. So he literally is playing by himself. Even though there are other guys on the ice that are wearing his jersey, he's literally playing by himself. So this allows Austria to play a little bit more of a team game, where they are kind of all on the same level and can work together. So it's one of those things where I totally understand where guys are focusing on their NHL careers. I mean, this is a month commitment right in the prime time of when they really ramp up their off-ice training for the NHL. So I understand their decision. And like I said, I think it opens doors and is a great opportunity for other people to step up.
I don't have a problem with it either. This is how stars are made. From John in the chat says, watch out, Team Switzerland is on the loose in this hockey tournament. From BW says, how strong is the hockey team that replaced Russia? We're trying to sort this out. The NHL scouts didn't know. Who's here in place of Russia?
Latvia.
It is Latvia.
Yes.
Okay.
You know how you can tell? You look at the flags in the back here, and they're done in order. So the like it's U.S. because they won. Canada was second, and so on and so on. So the last team is Latvia.
Okay. This is going by far, far, far too fast. With regards to Team USA, is John Van Beesbroek still running the show?
Yes.
He is.
Yes.
Okay. Will I see him here?
Yes.
Okay.
He's here.
I might have to get his autograph. Big goalie guy here.
There you go.
Right? Obviously, yes. So for you, because you've covered so many World Juniors, what is it like coming into Canada in terms of the hype and the excitement and all that? mean, we're not totally getting
This
it
time
yet,
is totally different. It is totally different. There's a lot, obviously, surrounding Hockey Canada right now. The city of Edmonton has essentially pulled their financial support as well. So there is nothing in the city, whereas normally in Canada, like, you go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And there's fans, you see jerseys, you see, the hoodies. There's nothing like that here. So it feels like we're watching hockey in a bubble. I'll be very curious to see how many fans show up to tonight's game. I think it's interesting because I feel like the audience at home is just as
good,
passionate and interested, but the physical support in the arena in the city is completely different.
Well, then I'm not alone there, because I'm curious to see what the crowds will be. Like I said to a scout yesterday, would there be more fans here on a Tuesday for Slovakia, Czechia? And he's like, well, yeah, but it would be in December, and there would be fans that have come from around the world. This is just different, right? It's a hastily thrown together tournament. But for what Julie's saying, and I would encourage anybody, don't be afraid to wear your Hockey Canada gear and cheer for Team Canada, or even buy tickets and come out here. Last point. Last time you were on, a Philly Flyers fan wrote in, remember, and said, what do you think the Flyers' chances are this year? And you broke out laughing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, actually.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it. So how are they get, like, I saw them in Florida.
I do know a thing or two, Rob.
I know, I told you that. But I saw them in Florida play, and I'm like, they're so bad.
It's
and like a
right.
week later, they fired their coach. And like they're playing so bad that I can't even tell how good the coach is or not, because they're not even trying. How's Torts going to do?
Well, I'm very curious. So here's the thing. I had a 6th grade teacher who was super, super strict. Super strict. Like, you needed a 6-inch ruler, you needed a red pen, a black pen, and a blue pen. And if you didn't write in your notebook in the certain ways, like, you got in trouble. So I compare him to her. Because I then had her in 8th grade. So that was for science, 6th grade science. I then had her in 8th grade for English. And she was a totally different teacher because she had learned and grown and evolved.
So Torts is a different
guy. And so I feel like each time Torts gets a job in the NHL, you see a different version of him where he has learned from his mistakes and said, okay, this was the approach I took the last time. It didn't work out the way that I anticipated that it would. How do I change my approach? So I feel like each time we see that at his core, he's the same, but how he approaches his players is different.
For
so
Philly's
I'll be curious.
Sake, I hope that is the case. And do I ask you now about being Miss New Jersey 2006? I saw that when I Googled your name.
Yeah, sure.
What is that? Was it 2006?
It's 2005.
2005. Okay.
Close. I was Miss New Jersey. I competed at Miss America, representing the Garden State.
I didn't even know that. I just found that out today. So we got a star in our midst. Always good to see you. Maybe we can do it again next week.
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right. Julie Robenhymer joining us from Elite Prospects covering USA Hockey in the entire 2022 World Juniors. Robin Brownlee joins us next. We're live from Rogers Place. You're watching on the Game Plus Television Network. We're also live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
News from Rogers Place in Edmonton. It is Canada, Latvia at 4 p.m. Mountain today on TSN, 6 p.m. Eastern. That is prime time. Hey, Robin Brownlee, been following this guy for a long time, reading his stuff, and I'm a big fan. Robin Brownlee joining us on video chat from the Outsiders podcast, Edmonton Sun to his credit, and all kinds of media things. Robin, thanks for joining us. Can I just open this right up with where's your sports focus this week? Is it World Juniors? Is it anything to do with the Oilers and who they may sign, the Elks and Riders, or something entirely else? What's your focus this week, Robin?
Well, it's still on hockey, Rod. And by the way, good morning. Thanks for having me on. The Oilers still have some things to do. The World Junior Championship. I mean, that's the event that's right at hand, and it's hard to look past that and not take a real long look at what's happening. I'm a big fan of the World Junior Championship. The problem for me and for a lot of people, I think, is holding it at this time of year in a town that has a very short summer. You really want to be inside the rink right now. I loved it in Saskatoon when the van would pick us up and Frank Orr would get in the van frozen solid, or we'd have to drive down to Regina for games there in a whiteout snowstorm. That's the World Junior Championship. Games during sunny August days is not the time. The other thing, obviously, it's not even the elephant in the room, it's more obvious than that. The issues of Hockey Canada right now, hockey in general, hockey at the junior level, is having its day of reckoning right now because of what's happened in the past. 2018, 2003, and we can go back, Rod, you know this game, we can go back to Graham James. It's an ugly topic, it's something you wish you didn't have to talk about, but it is far past time that hockey deals with this. It's too bad it has to start now. It's too bad the kids who are out there wanting to compete have to deal with the fallout from this. But it needs to be done. It needs to be exposed so that unless we deal with it now, we can't get past it. And I've been watching this game long enough to think we're way late on this, and it's about time. Tough for the kids now, but it needs to happen.
I agree, and Sheldon Kennedy's made his thoughts known. He's represented the country before, and I'm kind of looking at it this way. Yeah, it's been brought to the forefront. It needs to be dealt with, and it will. And in a lot of ways, it's a legal matter now. That has nothing to do with Connor Bedard, Team Canada, and these players now here. So whether you want to buy a ticket or you don't is entirely each consumer's choice. But will you be watching this afternoon, Robin, or not?
Absolutely. I mean, I love the game and I love the event. And these kids, whether it's Connor Bedard, talk about starting at the top in terms of marquee guys goes, what a player. They're here to play hockey. They're here to do what they do. This does not fall on them. If you love hockey, I think you watch these kids, no matter what country you're from, and you cheer for the country you're behind, and you treat it as best you can. You know, if you don't have the time and you're out at the lake and you're not going to be in the building or watch any of it, that's your call. But yeah, I'm keeping tabs for sure.
Well, you keep very close tabs on the CFL, and now the CFL and the Edmonton Elks, they've had enough scandals, and I'm talking about name changes and all the rest. Nothing as egregious as what Hockey Canada is being accused of here, or the 2018 team members. But they would love the pub that the Hockey Canada, the World Juniors, are getting this week. I haven't heard a lot of buzz about the Riders and Elks on Saturday. What's your take on that game, and where the Elks are at 2-6?
Well, I mean, as long as they don't have to play the BC Lions anytime soon, they may have a shot at actually walking onto the field and feeling like they can win. You know, they've been terrible. I don't think this is what anybody expected under Chris Jones. We weren't going to complete turnaround. We know the kind of season they're coming off. But Saskatchewan's going to be a tough out for this team. The Elks, Taylor Cornelius, I like a lot of aspects of his game, but I haven't seen him put it together yet. Plus, he's running for his life half the time, and the defense can't get anything done to save its life. So, I don't know. This looks like a tough game again for Chris Jones and the Elks, and I don't know what they do against the Rough Riders. They haven't exactly been hell on wheels either this season. They have their own issues.
Yeah, well, Riders favored by 6 going in, and who knows, I'll be there. I expect a good enough game, but I tell you what, Robin, think of this. When Jones left in 2015, you just won the Grey Cup. The West Final had 34,000 fans here, Eskimos and Stamps. He comes back, worst team in the league, the name's changed, scorched earth. They were 3-11 the season before. Massive reclamation project for Chris Jones. Do you not think the expectations are a little high for what he's inherited here, or have I misread that, being a Chris Jones guy?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, Rod, and you know this. The atmosphere and the situation may not be your fault at any particular time. But when you're the guy coming in, it's your problem. And that's what I see here. People expect a lot from a Chris Jones football club, and the man knows how to coach. But right now, he's not getting it done. So I don't know. I didn't poll fans and say, what are your expectations this year in terms of where the team finishes and do they contend in the playoffs? Coming from the bottom, which is rare for fans in this generation. Not that there's been a ton of success since the last Cup, but I tell you what, things have been turned upside down. And you know what happened, Rod? And you know this. They became a bad football team on the field, and they also became something less than they were off the field in terms of their relationship with the fans. And there were lots of issues there. Game night presentation, we've had the name change and all those things. So there's more than one challenge. It's going to take time, but telling people who've not seen the product that they wanted to see, for 5-7 years, be patient, that can be a tough sell, right?
Absolutely. Hey, we don't even have a minute left. I'll just ask you this. The Oilers, do you believe they're in on PK Subban? And who's the other one I'm hearing? Phil Kessel? Do you think what are the chances they sign with Edmonton?
I just wrote about that this morning. You know what? Ken Holland has talked about having some interest in Phil Kessel. All Phil Kessel does, except for last year, is score goals. You can look at him and say he looks like an accountant. He's not an athlete. But the man scores goals and he stays healthy. If he wants to come here on a bargain contract, I pursue that all day long. This is the first I heard of PK Subban. Do you want him here? Is he too big a personality to be a third-line player, playing fewer minutes than he ever has? He was under 20 minutes a game for the first time in his career last season. Even at a cut-rate contract, he's not the minute muncher he once was. He's not the offensive force he once was. So I see it a lot less likely that the Oilers are in on Subban, but I can see them doing something with Phil Kessel.
Robin, they can't get enough Oilers coverage, as you know. Where can they read your stuff, our viewers?
I'm writing these days, as I have since 2007, at Oilers Nation on the Nation Network. A lot of fun writing there. A friend of mine and somebody you know as well, Jason Greger, writes there as well. So we keep tabs on the Oilers for the fans here. It's a great site for the fans. They enjoy it. We have some fun writing. Don't have to play it as straight as I used to in the old newspaper days. But if you want to read what I've got to say, OilersNation.com.
You guys are the best. Robin, thanks for jumping on. Enjoy the games.
Okay. Thanks, Rod. See you.
Well, we'll be right back with a sports update and viewer takeover after this. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
The venue at River Cree, bringing you the best in live entertainment. One of the world's most gifted and accomplished ventriloquists, Terry Fader brings his repertoire of comedy, music, and unique impersonations to the venue at River Cree this September for one night only. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Easy snacking all around. something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
All right, it's a quick one here for a sports update and viewer takeover, but we got time. As you see Wayne lovingly looking over Rogers Place here on a game day. Canada versus Latvia, which we'll talk about, I think, here in a second. A sports update, sad news. Former Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman Boreas Salming has been diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. ALS is a progressive nervous system disease that leads to paralysis, the inability to swallow, respiratory failure, and finally death. Boria played 16 seasons with the Leafs and was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1996. The older hockey fans of my age and older, would you not agree that Boreas Salming was the first Swede that came on our radar in the National Hockey League? Boreas Salming. Very sad news from Leafs Nation today. The Toronto Blue Jays look to avoid a sweep in Baltimore tonight. The Orioles edged the Jays 6-5 Tuesday. It was Toronto's fifth loss in 8 road games. Righty Jose Barrios pitches for the Jays tonight, while Dean Kramer takes to the mound for the O's. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says he feels the league needed to keep pushing for a year-long suspension for Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson because of his egregious and predatory behavior toward women. Goodell was addressing the league's decision to appeal a 6-game suspension given to Watson by an independent league disciplinary officer. Watson was found to have violated the league's conduct policy after he was accused by 24 women of sexual assault or harassment while he played for Houston. This sports update for Edo Japan. Edo Japan's fast and friendly service plus online ordering options is easy and convenient when you're on the go. We got to be coming up on 1 minute. 1 minute of play remaining in the RP show. So to the viewer takeover from Glenn Erickson watching in Medicine Hat. He says, great to see Brownlee. He was terrific back in the day on the boxing beat when guys like Ken Lakuska, Scotty Olsen, and Willie DeWitt were roaming around Edmonton. I watched the Calgary Stampede with Willie DeWitt. I forgot to tell you all that. What a cool guy. The Great White Hope. From Jennifer at the Four Seasons, she says, I sure didn't know that the Jays signed Jackie Bradley until he walked out onto the field. Oh, I know there's a lot going on. From Jeff, the Stamps fan, he says, when the Elks hired Buono as a consultant late last offseason, I wonder if they took his recommendations. My guess is, I don't think Wally has a problem with Jones. My guess is they probably did. Next hour, Serena Taylor, Mike Dyck of Team Canada, and Ethan Moreau. Stick around after this break here on Game Plus.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Week 10 in the CFL kicks off Thursday. I have the betting lines, and I assume these betting lines will change, these point spreads, Lee. But Thursday, Montreal, Winnipeg, 11.5. Friday, Toronto, Hamilton, second game of a home and home. Hamilton's favored by 2.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Does it surprise you?
That does surprise
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Good morning, Canada. Western Canada. Good afternoon, Eastern Canada, and to our viewers in the Eastern Time Zone. We are into hour 2 of the RP Show. It's episode number 817 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. And everybody's saying great things about today's show. I got to say, I'm very happy with the way it's gone. Ryan watching in Toronto, Ryan H. on YouTube says, great first half. And we're through halftime, and we're kicking off the second half here right now. Serena Taylor, our hockey analyst, joins us here at Rogers Place on game day. And if you missed hour 1, I'm just going to tell you, roll back your PVR, roll back your YouTube, go back and listen to the podcast hour 1 if you missed it. We had Robin Brownlee with it, iconic Oilers writer from OilersNation.com, talking with the World Juniors. Julie Robenhymer from Elite Prospects. She covers USA Hockey. This hour, Serena with us. Coming up from Team Canada, assistant coach Mike Dyck, long time friend of mine, former Regina Pats defenseman, the current head coach of the Vancouver Giants. He'll be with us right here on set. And Ethan Moreau, the former captain of the Edmonton Oilers. But Serena, this is it. It's day 2 of the World Juniors. We all kind of got our feet wet here with a triple header on Tuesday, but today's the main event.
Today's the big one.
Yes. How are you feeling about Canada-Latvia today, 4 p.m. Mountain?
Well, like every other Canadian, I'm not super concerned about what the outcome will be.
No, you shouldn't be.
I'm just more excited, I guess, to see. I'm really excited about Canada's top line. I cannot wait to watch them and see how that goes down.
Yeah, why? How so?
Well,
how so?
Okay, you got a guy like Mason McTavish with Connor Bedard. So you have a guy who has NHL experience in Mason McTavish and a guy who doesn't. It's just going to be so exciting because they're both such dynamic players.
Yeah, well, it's interesting coverage. You know, we mentioned hour with Julie. You come into Canada, and you were watching our interview. There's no coverage of any other team besides Team Canada.
Right.
And I'm not sure there necessarily should be, but we know everything there is to know about Canada front to back. And Mark Masters said the other day, Connor Bedard opened camp for the World Junior Under-20 team last year as a 13th forward. He's worked his way onto the right side of the top line. And as I sprinkle in some comments from our viewers here, John in Edmonton says, memories of World Junior Hockey, Jordan Eberle, he was clutch. Andrew Stout says, Joshua Roy, woo! Habs prospect, he's the left wing of that top line.
Is. Yeah.
So we can get into some World Juniors memories. We can get into a lot of things here. But Robin Brownlee, you didn't hear that interview. He said a lot of people are staying away for whatever reason. Summer hockey, the ongoing scandal involving Hockey Canada. For me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would be a Connor Bedard and Team Canada. That has nothing to do with them. I think if you're staying away for those reasons, you're missing out on a wonderful event.
I haven't heard anybody that's saying they're staying away for those reasons.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. And it's going to be so much fun in here tonight. I think as the tournament goes on, we're going to see people are going to, if they're trying to stay away, regardless of the reason, maybe they do have something going on in their lives, they're going to get that fear of missing out. And I think as we get closer to the medal round, people are going to start coming and filling up the rink a little bit.
Tuesday's games, by the way, on day one. And I saw parts of all of them. I didn't see all of any of them. But it was a wild one. Czechia beating Slovakia 5-4 in the opener. I watched that one here with Lee Genier and some NHL scouts. It was a great game. Finland flattened Latvia 6-1, and people are already talking about Finland as a potential tournament favorite. And I know you want to jump in here, but just USA toyed with Germany. They beat them 5-1. So one close game and two pretty lopsided ones on the opening day.
I think the thing that shocked me about the Finland-Latvia game the most was how rough it was. I didn't expect the Latvians to come out and have a little bit of fire underneath them. Everybody's talking about how Finland might be an aggressive team in this tournament. They're not typically known to be aggressive, but that game yesterday, if it was any indication of what it's going to be between teams like that, who knows how this is going to go down.
Well, and to get into it, my cousin Christine, watching in Medicine Hat, says, World Junior is by far my favorite. Good. It's the biggest hockey tournament in the world. We were discussing that, right? Is there a bigger hockey tournament than this?
You can't ask Canadians that question. To Canadians, it's their favorite tournament. It's the biggest tournament in the world.
Another one, though.
I mean, I've lived in two countries separately, and if you asked an American what the biggest hockey tournament in the world is, they would not probably, other than someone like Julie, probably wouldn't answer the World Juniors, because it's not a big, really, the World Juniors has really only been televised in the U.S. for the last few years. We had to fight to get it on the NHL network. I remember the days where I was scraping on the internet to try to watch the World Juniors. It's just not a big tournament to them in general.
I don't know if it ever will be, but Stephen is watching in North Dakota. He says, continuing better American hockey coverage here again. Keep up the great RP show. Listening in Velva, North Dakota. I've never heard of it before, but I was saying the only bigger tournament in terms of hype would be the Olympics, but unless the NHL's there, people don't really care about that either. So this is the biggest tournament. And I'll say it again for those that missed yesterday's show. The reason we're here was it started at Centennial Cup in Estevan, where we went to do the show, and the Hockey Canada people said, would you consider doing your show from all our events? And I'm like, yes, I just considered it. We're in. But the funny thing was, that was a 10-team tournament too. And I was like, wow, this is exciting. 10 teams, it's huge. They said, it's not that groundbreaking. It's the same format as the World Juniors, 10 teams. And by the way, you were right. Latvia is the team replacing Russia here. How big of a bummer is it for you that Russia's not here?
It doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. I could care less if the Russians were here or not.
Is that?
There's always our biggest competition. And I don't love the competition between the two teams. I'd rather not lose to Russia in general. So obviously the games are always good and the Russians always have such a strong team, but this is always Canada's tournament. This is what we watch. This is what we want to watch. It doesn't matter who the other teams are, in my opinion. But what it does is it changes the teams in the groups.
Yeah.
So the groups are now completely different. They were talking about Canada being in these strange groups for the last few years, and it just takes one stronger team out of Canada's group. Now, when the crossover and all that kind of stuff, it changes the whole dynamic of the tournament right down to the gold medal game.
Sure, but you're not upset about them not being here for political reasons.
It's not even about that.
No.
Like, I don't care either way. Like, if someone said, do you wish that Kazakhstan was back in this tournament? Nope, don't care.
Right, exactly. Well, but they wouldn't put up quite the fight compared to Russia. By the way, from my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat, she says, how are the hot dogs there? I don't know yet. Put that on the mission list.
We haven't had a chance.
No, got to do some shopping and here and got to get hot dogs. From Jamie Neugebauer, he says, how about this quality tandem on this show? How about it?
How about it, Nukes?
How about that? BW in Edmonton says the World Juniors is associated with Christmas, not harvest time. And before you jump in on that, let me just say this. When they played the Stanley Cup playoffs in the bubble here in Toronto and they dropped the puck August 1st of 2020, I couldn't have been happier. I pulled my devices out on the patio and watched all day August hockey. So that's just me. I guess not everybody's like that.
That's a very interesting concept for people who live in Canada. I live where the sun shines year round, but Christmas is still Christmas in the World Juniors. I agree with that statement 100%. It's hard to get into it, but when I hear the jingle on TV and I hear that typical World Junior jingle, I get the chills in my back. And I do agree, it's a different feeling. But if somebody would have said to me, you're going to have the opportunity to go sit in the rink 3 games a day and watch hockey, I don't care what time of year it is. It's freezing in here. Doesn't matter what time of year. But I do agree that it's a little bit different because at Christmas, people take the time off here. It's just a little bit more focused around that.
But we would go no matter when the tournament's being played, and that's why we're here. But if you are coming down and you've got a week and a half now to buy your tickets, hockeycanada.ca. They start at $40. Bring a blanket, dress warm. This is probably the coldest arena I've been in. But all NHL arenas now are cold. Florida, very cold.
Wow, I mean, the ground is constantly would melt the ice down there. So, of course, it's going to be a lot colder. Been in Arizona, there's a thunderstorm when you walk in the door because the difference between the heat and the cold
right.
is
Well,
crazy.
it's a hockey rink, not a shopping mall. I'm just telling you to dress warm if you're coming to the World Juniors here in Edmonton. Jeff Kabilis in Winnipeg says, I've never missed a World Juniors since 1991 when Saskatchewan hosted the tourney. That is going back a long ways. Andrew Stout says the United States would pick the Frozen Four, I think, as their biggest hockey tournament. But what I'm saying is biggest in terms of teams, there are 10. And forget about the August and forget about everything else going on around Hockey Canada. This thing would be sold out. Do you think there would be bigger crowds for games yesterday, for instance? Because everybody's talking about the empty rink yesterday. You know?
Right. So it's proof. I felt like I was back in high school, skipping school to watch a game in the afternoon in Europe when there was nobody in the rink.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Everyone's talking about that as a big deal. And even I was having a conversation with Julie before she came on the air about why the rink is empty. I feel people are at work. You can't everybody's already taken their time off for the summer. People in Canada are just a little bit more 9 to 5, a little bit more take your holidays at Christmas, take your holidays. It's just the way it is here. And that's just what people are used to adapting around.
1111 Mountain, by the way. Just want to say pay attention to your thoughts. And speaking of that,
beautiful.
Don, our Navy friend, writes in and he says, in Sports Illustrated, they didn't cover the Canada-Russia series, the Canada Cup. America hasn't and still doesn't care about junior hockey. Would we extend that to hockey, period, or not, that America doesn't care? Is that a fair statement or not?
How much time do we have?
5 minutes.
They don't care. The people that care about hockey in the U.S. typically like their team. It's completely different up here. We live and breathe. We had the under 18s. We had this, we had that. We're obsessed. We walked through the mall yesterday. Every television had the first game on. Yeah, the Czechs and the Slovaks. And it's just different here. They like their teams in the U.S., but if they didn't grow up in the same cultured environment as we did here, it's impossible for them to feel the same way. Like, Julie clearly loves the game. She clearly knows the game. I give her all the credit in the world, but she didn't grow up in the same environment we did. She grew up around Philly. which I love that she laughed when asked how the Flyers were going to do. Poor thing.
Yeah.
We get it. I'm an Oilers fan. We've been there. But they don't care as much as we do. Absolutely not.
Okay. In the time we have left, we have 4 minutes to cover two topics. So the Bedard thing, what are your expectations of him today?
He's going to hammer it. Absolutely. I would suspect playing with Mason McTavish, Bedard's going to probably get at least 4 or 5 points.
Today?
Against Latvia?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, well, we'll
Yeah.
set the over-under. I remember when the Pats were playing this winter, was on TSN, they set the over-under at points for Connor at 3.5. Remember, I told you about that.
Yeah,
You weren't
yeah.
watching. You ended up with 2.
Yeah.
So the over-under, what are we sitting at? 4.5 over-under for Bedard today? Write it down for points. And then I never had the opportunity to get you on yesterday on the anniversary of the Gretzky trade. And I know you don't want to talk about it, but I might help you to talk about it. 34-year anniversary Tuesday of the Gretzky trade. I went and looked at the poll results. 82% of respondents yesterday said that the LA Kings won the trade.
Only 82%?
Yeah. What I wanted from you was you saying that it didn't necessarily benefit the NHL or hockey. What was your stance on that?
Well,
that it wasn't great for hockey.
It pains me to even talk about this. It's the hardest part of my childhood. But I'm going to say this. If you look at how many teams were in the league, 21 at the time. Now, I feel the more teams, the more diluted the talent is. How many leagues other than the NHL can you say have lost franchises? Look at the amount of franchises that have moved, that have closed, that have done this, that have done that. There's no other professional sports teams in the world that do that. Ever since that happened and Gary Bettman came along, things have just been changing and changing and changing. And really, has it changed for the better? I personally don't think so. There's guys that play in the league that 20 years ago never would have made the league. And maybe that's good. I don't know. But I just think that they're pushing hockey in the U.S., pushing it where people don't care. And it's proven. And now teams like Atlanta don't exist anymore. And all these teams aren't getting fans to games. And it has not helped the game. And I don't know if that's 100% where it came from, but that's definitely where it started.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says we rag on the CFL for not growing. Maybe we should rag on hockey for not growing its popularity in other countries. And I would suggest this. Are we even trying? Remember the slogan, it's our game. I'm not sure Canada wants to grow it in other countries.
It's like trying to say that soccer needs to grow in Canada. You think England cares if Canadians or Americans like soccer? They don't care. They know that football. They know that that's their thing.
From Tacona Powley, he says, will Bedard break the tournament points record?
That's pretty early to tell. Too bad he couldn't have played last in December because he would have had extra, obviously this is going to count essentially toward that, but who knows? He's not going to get to play in too many World Juniors.
Well, again, he has already broken Wayne Gretzky's goals in an individual game by a 16-year-old record, so I would say anything and everything is on the table for Connor Bedard. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since Bettman came into power. Coincidence? I think not. Do you want to handle that lastly before I let you go?
I mean, I don't think. If you look at guys like, for example, anybody who won Colorado won the Stanley Cup. Look how long it's been in Saskatchewan. They don't care where they play. They bring the cup back to where they're from. It's not so much to do with the Canadian teams or not, because people rag on me in the States about that all the time. It has nothing to do with it. It's all Canadians that play anyway. The team with the most Canadians typically wins, just like this year.
All right, appreciate it. Enjoy the hockey.
I love it.
We anticipate Mike Dyck of Team Canada joining us next. We're live from Rogers Place on day 2 of the 2022 World Juniors, and you're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Mornings just got better at River Cree. For a limited time, enjoy a summer sunrise breakfast for just $1.99. Choose from 2 eggs any style, a breakfast sandwich, or pancakes. Finally, a delicious reason to wake up early. $1.99 breakfast daily at Tap 25 at the River Cree.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
It's game day, triple header on hand here at Rogers Place at Edmonton, but the featured game is 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern. Team Canada will take on Team Latvia, and in moments we'll be joined by Mike Dyck, assistant coach of Team Canada. We're told he is on his way. Mike Dyck, by the way, I'm going to read his hockey stats right now before I get into a sports update. He's from Lethbridge, Alberta. Played in the Western Hockey League from 1985 to 1989 with the Calgary Wranglers, Brandon Wheat Kings, and God's team, the Regina Pats, and that's where he spent most of his time. He played in 136 games with the Regina Pats, Mike Dyck. He'll be with us shortly. And then in the Western Hockey League, assistant coach with the Medicine Hat Tigers, Lethbridge Hurricanes, and then a head coach with the Lethbridge Hurricanes and Vancouver Giants, and he will be joining us shortly. But as we await Mike Dyck, let's get to a sports update. Canada will begin its hunt for a gold medal in the World Juniors later today when it faces Latvia here at Rogers Place. Switzerland plays Sweden in the early game. That's noon Mountain. They'll be taken to the ice shortly here for warm-ups. And Austria and Germany will play in the nightcap. On Tuesday, the tournament opened with the defending champion United States crushing Germany 5-1. Finland rolled over Latvia 6-1. And Czechia outlasted Slovakia in the wildest game of the day, 5-4. The Toronto Blue Jays' road woes continued Tuesday night, losing 6-5 to the surging Baltimore Orioles in a game delayed by rain and lightning 78 minutes. The Jays, who have lost 5 of 8 on their 9-game road trip, will try to avoid being swept by the Orioles tonight. Righty Jose Barrios will pitch for the Jays, while right-hander Dean Kramer will be on the mound for the Orioles. Organizers of the National Bank Open are expecting a sellout tonight in Toronto in what will be a special salute to tennis legend Serena Williams as she plays her second-round singles match against Belinda Bencic of Switzerland. The 23-time Grand Slam champion confirmed Tuesday she is planning to retire from tennis sometime following the U.S. Open, which begins later this month. Bring them on in, guys. Don't be shy. This sports update is for River Cree Resort and Casino. Brings you the best tribute acts and live entertainment. October 15th, Forever Seeger, a tribute to the music of Bob Seger. You don't need the headphones, Mike. You're good. I think you can hear me. Forever Seeger creates a dynamic journey through the timeless music of Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. And also brought to you by Woodbine Entertainment. Bring the thrill of the track to your fingertips with Woodbine's Dark Horse Bets. Its AI-powered insights and strategies help you make smarter bets straight out of the gate. Feel the excitement of live-streamed horse races wherever you go. Download the app for free at playdarkhorse.com. Available for Android and Apple devices. Yes, we're live on Game Plus Television, available all across Alberta and BC on Telus Optic Television, Channel 924. Coach Dyck, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Long time no see. Game day. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
How are we feeling about the big opener here today?
Really excited about getting things going. I think we've had a great couple of weeks and seen a lot of growth in the group.
Off the start, before you showed up, I went through your hockey DB, but for those that just turned their television sets on, I'll say it again. In the dub, Mike played with the Calgary Wranglers, Brandon Wheat Kings, and then God's team, 136 games with the Regina Pats in the late 80s, and then coaching career through Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and been with Vancouver for quite some time. Mike, with this club, you've been around Hockey Canada, this program, a long time. What's your role on this team?
My role is first and foremost the power play. So I'm in charge of working with our power play and getting them prepared each and every night. And I've also got the headset on the bench. So I work on the forward side of the bench and in terms of adjustments or making any kind of calls relating to offsides or any kind of challenges, work with Lou Robitaille upstairs.
Right. So my question to you, because this isn't the same team you were coaching as recent as December, right, when this thing started. So you don't have Owen Power, you don't have Caden Gooley. How does that change what you do?
Well, I mean, in terms of the power play, we had to make some adjustments. But we got so much depth that it wasn't that difficult to make those adjustments. Obviously, you don't replace a guy like Owen Power, but with guys like Owen Zellweger and Cormier and Ronan Silly's done a great job, and Jack Thompson. We feel like we've got some depth back there, and up front, no Cole Perfetti, but putting more onus and more of a challenge with Kent Johnson to be that quarterback on the flank, and obviously Connor Bedard's going to take a much bigger role on our number one power play unit.
I'm not sure I got enough time to get all my questions out for you, Dicker, but they announced yesterday Sebastian Cossa is going to be your starter, but Dylan Guerin, is the only returning guy, right, from that silver medal winning team. One thing about sports, it humbles you, right? I mean, was that a tough call, or did Sebastian outplay Dylan to this point?
Well, I think just, again, the fact that we've got so much depth in that, and we play, we're playing basically 3 games in 4 nights. So we split the 2 of them in game 1, and obviously, Costa's going to get the call today, and we'll see how things go tomorrow. But all 3 of them played really, really well.
So this is literally a who's got the hot hand type thing, or a 50-50 scenario?
Yeah, it's a 50-50 scenario, and obviously we feel that Sebastian's going to be really good for us today.
Now, we've been watching all the coverage since we got to town, but you've been on the ice with these guys, and Mark Masters said in his report from PSN that Connor Bedard showed up as the 13th forward last summer, and he's worked his way onto the top line. Can you talk about what you've seen in the transformation of this kid?
Well, I mean, I knew how good he was last year in camp, and a guy that we weren't sure whether he could play at this level as a 16-year-old, and became one of our best players through that CIS competition. And and just elevated his game. He's a special player. I mean, he's not only got an elite talent level. I mean, mentally he's very smart. He's a very smart player, and he's mentally tough too. So, didn't really surprise me, and we're certainly excited about where he can take his game.
You know, there'll be a lot. Again, you're in Vancouver. He kind of came on my radar. I interviewed him for the first time when he was 14, but it seems like he got on everybody's radar when he's about 12. Would I be right on that? When people said guy, right around there. Yeah. Like he's like Ogopogo out there. He's like a mythical figure in the mainland.
I mean, it is close to. I mean, we really haven't seen it much in the Western League. Maybe since Nugent Hopkins, the hype. As far as being the clear first overall pick and a special player. But, you know, you see guys like that in the Ontario League, whether it was Tavares or McDavid, and obviously I'm not making comparisons there, but he is a special player, and I'll tell you, the city of Vancouver is extremely excited to see the Regina Pats come to Vancouver, and it's not going to be hard to sell the building out that night.
But probably a little sad that you haven't been able to see him the last 2 years, and that's nobody's fault, but you must have heard that it was your fans must have been saying no.
Oh, I mean, that's a date that's been circled on our calendar.
Yeah.
And not only for us as a hockey club to see him, but for our fans, because more than likely it's going to be the last time they see him in the Western Hockey League.
Well, and I want to tell the fans that are watching here all across Alberta, you got a week and a half to get your tickets, and because you gotta see him live, right, Mike? Like, it's one thing to watch him on television and so forth. And I saw Dave Cameron the other day saying, "Let's just pump the brakes on the expectations." I was told that when he was 15, and I'm like, no, he can handle it. Don't you think?
Well, he can, and it's not just a guy that's flashy scoring goals. He does so many little things well, and if you watch the exhibition game we played against Sweden, I mean, he was the guy that made our winning goal happen and took a hit to make a play and got the puck out of the zone, and he set up the breakaway for Waugh to finish. So does so many little things well, but I mean, top of the circle's down, he's money.
Well, and again, I'll say that he's a Regina Pat. The other, Jordan Eberle, the greatest world junior ever. I think Eb's going to be watching this with a smile on his face. He'd like to see any of his records fall if it's to another former Pat. And the thing with Bedard, his teammates must love him. He's a lovable guy.
Oh, he is.
Not a arrogant bone in his body.
Not at all. Very, very humble, and obviously for some of the new guys coming into the program, I think they were really excited to get the opportunity to play with him. And obviously he's got great chemistry throughout the room, and we do not only with Connor Bedard but Mason McTavish. Got a lot of really good players, and the team's really starting to come together.
Well, you've been coaching a long time, and is it too much hype on Connor? Is it nothing that he's done, but is it a disservice to the other 19 or however many guys you're carrying? There's not much focus on them.
Well, I mean, again, I think with our depth, there's a lot of guys that you could probably focus on, but Connor being a guy that's more than likely going to go number 1 overall in the draft this year, he certainly commands a lot of attention, as did Owen Power, the year before. So, I think it's to be expected, but he handles it really well.
How has it affected this tournament with the players that aren't here? And Juraj Slafkovsky would be, the first, number 1 overall pick from Slovakia, from Montreal. How's it affected the complexion and competition level of this tournament?
I don't know if it has. I mean, I guess we're just in the infancy of the tournament right now. We're just getting started, but I think our focus has always been on the guys that have been here and the guys, as opposed to the guys that aren't here. And obviously the guys that aren't here had good reason not to be here, whether it was injuries or fatigue. But our focal point has been the guys that have committed to play for Team Canada and done a great job so far. So I know every country's missing a few players that they would have had at Christmas time, but we're really excited about moving forward with the guys we have.
I got to be honest with you. Our number 1 region for viewership is Alberta, but we got a lot of people in Saskatchewan in the heartland and Damon Hunt fans, and they're literally devastated for this kid. Can you talk about that? What was it like on the last day of your camp?
It was the last day, and it was it was eerily reminiscent of what happened at Christmas time. It was the last practice, and obviously he was going to make our hockey club at Christmas time, and broke broke a finger on the same hand, and for that to happen the last day, it's not fair, and obviously we feel really, really bad. He's still a big part of our team, and we're going to make sure that he feels a big part of our team and an integral part of the group, but obviously something he can't control.
Well, I would assume, given his skill set, you were counting on a guy like that.
Well, we were. I mean, he had a big part of this team, certainly in terms of playing against the other team's top 6 players and penalty killing role, and maybe a secondary power play role. But again, speaks to the depth of Canada and getting Del Mastro in. Where we lose Damon, we add another strong defenseman. So it's just part of the process.
The player that you brought in, had he been with you, or was that an emergency call-up, literally getting him?
That was literally an emergency call-up. I mean, I think he had plans on Saturday night and had the emergency call-up in Ontario, and was on basically on a plane the next day, and obviously really excited to join our team.
I got to just ask you this, Mike. Again, I mentioned you've been around international competition a long time with Team Canada. What is the pressure like? Because the Hunt family, Damon's dad, Doug's a good friend of mine, and he said as the dad he was feeling pressure.
What do they say? What was pressure feel like? About 32.5 pounds per square inch at sea level? I mean, you know what? It's as much as you want to put on yourself. I think right now we really want to keep things internal, ignore the noise, and focus on a lot of the little things. I think we did that well at the beginning of the game in Sweden. I think there's a lot of things we did well, and there's a lot of things we learned from. And I think it's just really, really focusing on the process right now and ignoring the noise outside of it. And it's always been a challenge, certainly when you play at home in the World Juniors, and obviously magnified this year. But that's a challenge we have playing for Team Canada.
Should be a great game today. I really appreciate you coming up on a game day, Mike. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks a lot.
Team Canada assistant coach Mike Dyck will be back with more from Rogers Place after this timeout on Game Plus TV and 24-hour streaming sports radio now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The finest hockey facility on the planet. Rogers Place in Edmonton. We're here for the 2022 World Juniors. And as you're going to see here right over my shoulder, warm-up is underway. And this is Switzerland against Sweden. They're getting after it at noon Mountain. The nightcap tonight, Austria versus Germany. And Canada, 4 p.m. Mountain against Latvia, 6 p.m. Eastern on TSN. I cannot wait to get our next guest, but I am waiting. Ethan Moreau, former captain of the Edmonton Oilers, is going to be with us. But for me and for a lot of my friends and family, far more interested that he's the director of hockey at Notre Dame College. I didn't know that. And producer Clark telling us that earlier in the week that he booked Ethan Moreau. And he's in Wilcox right now. And we're having something of a connection issue. So I'm just going to tell you this. While we have a minute, I'll get to some of these text messages that have come in. We talked a lot of CFL way back in the opening segment, the warm-up with Lee Genier, and I can answer or read some of those messages here right now. But Hockey Canada has graciously gifted us tickets for the gold medal game here and the bronze medal game. And a word to our office staff, I have not seen the information or the liners, as we say in the business, on that. So if you can get them to me before the end of the show and how we can award those to our viewers, because I think they're going to want to be here, please let me know. We played Deal or No Deal way back in the warm-up in hour one with Lee Genier, and that's where we go through the CFL betting lines from our friends at betregal.ca, our exclusive betting partner. And so to the viewers, Grant in Kelowna, BC, watching. We talked about the Edmonton Sask game here Saturday at Commonwealth. Grant says it is a must-win game for the Riders. I bleed green. I just wish Calgary and BC beat each other up. And that is the poll question, by the way, for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center. Let me get to it here. Which is Canada's game of the week in the CFL? And I'm a little shocked. Frankly, 72% of respondents are saying it's the BC at Calgary game. It's Canada's game of the week, 72%. Next, Sask at Edmonton, 20% of viewers, and then 4% each for Montreal at Winnipeg on Thursday and Toronto and Hamilton on Friday. Where are you at, the Eastern Canadian voters and CFL fans? Because all these games have some intrigue. Maybe that many people want to show up and watch Biznasty race the world's fastest cow on Saturday, which the Calgary Stampeders announced this morning. That's right. Oh, here it is. You can't see it around the microphone. Biznasty on his Pink Whitney Cross Canada Tour will be in Calgary on Saturday for that BC Calgary CFL football game. And I guess I'm assuming it's at halftime. Biznasty will be racing the world's fastest cow at halftime of the Stampeders BC Lions game, which incidentally, the BC Lions are favored by 2 at Calgary. I'm not taking that bet. Our co-host here earlier, Lee Genier, says he'll take the bet. He thinks the BC Lions will go into Calgary and win by 2 points or more. I don't. I think Calgary's going to win that football game. But just on that Biznasty thing before we wrap it up for the day here from Rogers Place, he's going to be at the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store this afternoon, Wednesday, 1 to 3 p.m., signing autographs, taking pictures, and to quote Ricky Regina from the Tap, Biznasty is going to be doing shots of Pink Whitney with the fans and viewers and listeners to the Spittin' Chicklets podcast. Then he's going to do it in Saskatoon tonight. So I just worry about Biznasty's health and safety, to be quite honest with you. Back to the text line. Dougal Cameron's watching in Calgary, and he says, I gave up my Stampeders season tickets this year, but I'm buying a ticket to watch Nathan Rourke. So he is the kind of guy that sells tickets. And you can write me here right at our broadcast location at Rogers Place, 902-518-3033. BC Lions and the odds-on favorite to win the CFL Most Outstanding Player Award, Nathan Rourke, into Calgary on Saturday afternoon for a Week 10 showdown against the Calgary Stampeders. Nathan Rourke is the kind of guy that sells tickets. This is the kind of hype that the CFL has been wanting and needing for years, all surrounding Nathan Rourke. Here in Edmonton, I've been talking with the Elks today, and yes, we'll be in their press box on Saturday watching the Riders and the Elks, and I'm trying to keep somewhat of an eye on what's going on with that game. People are talking about Duron Carter being washed up. That's in that 3downnation.com insiders column, which is running today. Let me just say this about Duron. I don't believe he's been put in a situation to have success by the Edmonton Elks. If you put him at wide out, I think he'd be having far more success. This is an Edmonton Elks problem, not a Duron Carter problem. We have a few minutes left in this segment, as I guess we're now able to go out to Notre Dame College and join Ethan Moreau, the former captain of the Oilers. And I'll tell you, hey, Ethan, good to see you, man. And you got your Notre Dame garb on behind the lights. Listen, everybody's so excited, particularly my friends and family who are Notre Dame alum. How did this come to be that you're the director of hockey at Notre Dame College, Ethan?
Is that light going to bother you? You're good?
You're perfect. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. How did this happen?
It's exactly what I wanted. I spent 20 years in the NHL. I didn't really want to... I wanted something that I could kind of establish myself and kind of bring my ideas and my thoughts to a program where there's a little more stability. In the NHL, it's obviously not like that. You can't. It's hard to stay in one spot for more than a few years. I think everybody in Edmonton knows my passion for kids and helping that age group. I have two kids that are past that age group, so I got to the point where they don't really need me anymore. It just kind of clicked. They're good, like they're fine. So I started to explore options. I love coaching, but I wasn't prepared to really live that life or work my way up. And I wanted to be in a position where I can do something I love, something new, and it's exciting. I think this program is legendary. It's probably put more NHL players and more people, more men into the NHL than any program I can think of in North America. Obviously, we need some energy. We need something new, and I think that's why they hired me. So I plan to bring this program back to prominence.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm an Ethan Moreau fan. You and I have never met, but I know being a captain of an NHL team is not something that's done easily, and so it just tells me what kind of guy you are. 928 games in the National Hockey League. I was raised on a farm 9 miles south of Wilcox, okay? So my family are big Hounds people. And nice. I see you haven't played since 2012, so can you please bring us up to speed on the last decade? Just being a dad, or what have you been doing to keep your hand in hockey in the last decade?
Well, I was fairly fortunate. The things that I have done have prepared me for this job. So I had 1 year in the NCAA. So I was very familiar with recruiting. I was in charge of admissions. So that short year, so it's basically the same system, but it's a high school. I scouted for 3 years with Montreal at a pro level. Unfortunately, scouting gets harder the younger the player gets. So I have scouting experience at the highest level. I coached my son's junior team. I worked with Kevin Adams at the hockey academy in Buffalo, where we ran all the AAA teams. So I'm very familiar with all the levels and what needs to be done. I wrote all the practice plans for those teams. I also worked with Junior Kings in Los Angeles, mostly off-ice stuff with my brother. My brother was our strength coach when we went to the finals, but he's also he's won 2 cups, an NBA championship, and a World Series, so he's doing okay. So that's a quick answer to your question.
Well, yeah, I'm impressed. And again, from Huntsville, Ontario, you played in the Ontario Junior A League, right, in the OHL with Niagara Falls. So you, even as a player, you're familiar with all those levels of hockey. Can I ask you this? What's your challenges? What have you identified as your biggest challenges taking over out there at Notre Dame? Because it is a competitive space, right? Elite hockey academies. What's your biggest challenge?
Well, I think the challenge post-COVID, I think a lot of people are facing the same situation, is letting your kids go somewhere into a boarding school. There aren't too many boarding schools. A lot of the academies don't offer what we offer, where we have everything on site. People that are familiar with Notre Dame, we have an arena, we have a better gym than most NHL teams. We have a great dorms. It's a beautiful campus. We have our own church. We have obviously a great place to eat. 3 meals a day. So there's so much more than just hockey. It's the academic experience, and it's more just the experience, to enjoy the experience. These kids are away from home at a young age, so we got to make sure that we're taking care of them as people, being interested in their lives, being invested in their families, and look for character people, which is hard to do when it's easier when you're an adult. They're having those conversations to kind of evaluate character, but and we're going to win. We're going to go after the top kids, and we're going to compete. We're not going to settle for being a mediocre school. We're not a hockey school. We're a prep school, but Notre Dame's known for hockey, and most of our students do play hockey. So having said that, my role is extremely important that we be successful. And again, I just got here, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But I'm not very patient when it comes to performance and doing well. So hopefully I can have a successful first season and then recruit for the next season. I think obviously our U15 program is our focus right now to start to make sure we're taking care of our backyard and getting all the Saskatchewan kids and the elite kids in this area, and then branch out all the way to Europe.
Well, as you probably know, it's easier to identify character when you have it, and you've got that in spades, so you're good there. Just last me say, what did you think when you saw Wilcox for the first time? I'm always interested to know people's answer to that. Had you been there before?
It's just impressive. I talked to Wendell Clark before I left. And he goes, when are you going there? And I said, this was in July. He said, oh, they're going to bring you there in the summer. They're smart. So every day I've been here, it's been about 85, no humidity. So I don't have to change 3 times a day. But honestly, my first impressions were the people have been incredible. The city in Regina, I haven't had much experience with. So it's just nice. I mean, I know it's the summertime and it's beautiful. It's nice everywhere, but down by the Parliament in that area is beautiful. Wilcox itself, the village, is really unique. It's hard to explain to people, to be honest with you. With technology, with video, it doesn't do it justice. Like how far you can see the horizons if you've never experienced the prairies. But just our facilities, our gym, like I said, it rivals NHL gyms, but just the passion of the people, the teachers that are involved, the teachers that coach. These guys have been coaching here for 25 years, which is a great thing, but it's also an issue. It's just like the aging work population in Canada. It's the same here. We have an aging workforce. We have an aging coaching staff. So we need to get younger. We're looking for young coaches. We want young coaches. So if you want to coach, this is the place to be. We started an internship at Regina. That was the first thing I did. They have a sports management program there, so hopefully we can get some young people that are interested, not just in hockey, but in the. So here we have our accounting, HR. So to get involved in hockey, there's obviously so many jobs that go along with that, just like any business. But yeah, to answer your question, it's beautiful. It's just happy. It's just peaceful. It's just, we're pretty well-adjusted people in our family. We went, like you said, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, more rural than this. And then I was in Chicago at 20. Edmonton pretty much kind of grew up in Edmonton. We were there 11 years. And then we spent 8 years in LA, then back to Niagara Falls. So for us, it's just another, I say us, I'm the only person here, but hopefully somebody will come visit me.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. It doesn't get more rural than Wilcox, Saskatchewan. But at least in Wendell's case, it hasn't changed in the 40 years since he left. Anyways, and I love Wendell. Ethan, we're out of time. I appreciate this. Yeah, he is the best. I'll see you down there in Wilcox. Good luck with everything, man. I appreciate your patience in coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and thanks for your time, and thanks for hanging in there with our technical issues. But all the best, and I hope to meet you in person soon. And
absolutely,
yeah, we're gonna be a fun ride. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ethan. Appreciate it. Director of Hockey from Notre Dame College and former Oilers captain Ethan Moreau. Viewer takeovers next. Right after this, you're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24 hours streaming sports radio. Streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
The Venue at River Cree, bringing you the best in live entertainment. One of the world's most gifted and accomplished ventriloquists, Terry Fader brings his repertoire of comedy, music, and unique impersonations to the Venue at River Cree this September for one night only. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersenshop.com.
I'm not sure if this is the house that Connor built or that guy Wayne built, but it's our final segment, Overtime, for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the World Juniors and the Canadian Football League. Clark tells me just 2 minutes left in this Overtime segment, and Lee Genier joins me, our COO. And Lee, I'm so proud of our entire crew. Nice work, Clark, Jordan, everybody, Ryan, for pulling this off. What a blur of a show today was.
Yeah.
But great.
Great show. Great show. Congrats to everyone putting it all together.
Yes. What are your thoughts as we head into day one for Team Canada, day two of the World Juniors, a big week in the CFL? What's going to be occupying your mind the rest of the day?
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to a game at 4 o'clock, and I want to see a really good game between Latvia and Canada, and I want to see a really hard-fought battle just come out. And I'm not looking for a blowout. I would love to see a great hard-fought game.
I know. I don't want to see a 12-1, 14-1 game. Last minute of play in today's RP show. Serena has set the over-under for Bedard points at 4.5. Are you taking the... I'm taking the under. 4.5 points, over or under for Bedard?
Under.
Under on both?
Under.
Okay. And Canada's game of the week, running away with the vote, the BC Lions at the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday, and the biggest reason seems to be Air Canada, we have an Air Canada, that's Brandon Bridge. WestJet, Nathan Rourke. Going to convince you to go to the game?
Yeah, absolutely.
You going to go?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be here going to the Elks and the Riders on Saturday. But, hey, Edmonton, this week is the place to be, and we're so proud and happy to be here. Thanks to Ethan Moreau, Robin Brownlee, Mike Dyck, Julie Robenhymer, Serena Taylor, Lee Genier. Great show. We'll see you all tomorrow. See you, Lee. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
See you at noon Eastern here on Game Plus TV.
McFly, hello.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Bingo! Hoo-ah! So spicy! Done deal. That's hot. Hell yes.
When I'm rattled,